Okay, I guess my phone cut off right there. So I think I was working on talking about Trump and how he had, on so many levels, how he's working on opening up for humanity to become prosperous. Now, some people think that he's only a money person. Granted, yeah, that's very, very much. But he's one of those few people that also that is competitive, yes, but is also very generous with what he has to offer. So, with him at the helm, I would say that we are in for a very, very beautiful surprise. Many of you that don't understand what he says don't understand that he talks in code, and he has to. Because in The Art of War / The Art of the Deal, he wrote the book The Art of the Deal, but based on The Art of War, you don't tell your enemies what you're going to do. You can't. But as we who are looking at what he's doing, we are sometimes being a little bit disinformed, and until you understand how he speaks in code, or how he tweets in code, and how Q and the Anons and the White Hats and the Alliance and the world is starting to understand how he's freeing so many people, freeing the children, but taking us also out of enslavement. And here I am, a white person, talking about enslavement. We're not part of the club, okay? We're not part of the club, the 1% club. We're not. And if you're not part of that club, you are a slave. I don't care how you look at it. Is it harsh words? Maybe. Trump is taking us out of there. He's giving us possibilities. He's not closing down for small businesses. Now, the states where the small businesses are being closed down, you all know what those states are, and you know who's running those states. It is not Trump, because each state has their own sovereignty, and they can make their own laws. Unless, and that is what's happening right now, the people stand up and say no more. My business is helped so much by what Trump is going through with. And a lot of small businesses are saying the same. They're like, oh my goodness, we are having the winds, the good winds are coming through now. We are able to grow now. Trump is helping us. Because he understands if we have financial abundance, we're going to have abundance on all levels. And we are all going to grow as humanity. A lot of people, including the deep stute, as you know, I'm gonna talk a little bit in code too, so I can continue this going as well. The CB, Central Bank, has underestimated Trump. Mr. T has, before he even took office, known partially of what he was about to accomplish. He knew that he had to take control of the monetary, the Federal Reserve. He knew he had to do that, and he did. He knew he had to take control of the elections, and he's doing that right now. He's just trying to take down the big families while he's opening up so that everybody can see the fraud, everybody can see the lies, everybody can see the deceits. And a lot of people are underestimating him. Now, we that have been looking and seeing what he's been doing and how he's been doing, we are looking at a brilliant, brilliant person who is here for the good of all. Some of you I've heard from Denmark are hearing, they'll say, oh, but Biden. I'm like, guys, have you even heard what how the guy speaks? Have you even heard what he says? How can you even think that this person is here for the good of all? And I'm talking Mr. B. How can Mr. B, when he can't even speak, he can't even say a sentence from A to Z, he speaks and he says all kinds of crazy. He's running for the Senate. He doesn't even know he's running for the president. No, he says that he's running for the Senate. I mean, come on, guys. I know that many of you hate. There's so much hatred towards Trump. It's because you don't get what he's here to do. He's not perfect. He's here to shake up the deep stute, clear it out of this planet so that we can become sovereign over our bodies, over our minds, over our lives. Period. That's what he's here to do. And all these other things, all these other narratives that you see, that he's been able to, they have been trying to undermine him since he got into office. And you see how he has just, okay, they brought up the masks, okay, they brought up the sicknesses, okay, he maneuvered around that. He made it so it became so that he would say, okay, I'm going to play that game, but then at that same time, I'm going to be doing this. During this whole time, he's taking control of the Federal Reserve. It is now under the Treasury. He's taking control of, just watch, he's going to be taking control of the mass media, which is going to be, I'm not really sure how they're going to do that, but I kept wondering, how is he going to take over the lamestream media? And I was like, oh my gosh, when the elections happened and all the lies were put out there, and one lie after the other, after the third, I mean, literally saying Mr. B won. It's not even been officially declared. And now, as you see, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. But what I want you guys to see is Trump is about openness, opening the economy, opening the country, opening our hearts, opening to all what we are. He's opening your eyes too to see what has been going on for so long, that we've gotten so used to it. We're like cooked frogs. You know the saying of being a cooked frog? Envision this. You are a frog, and you're being put into a pan where the water is a little bit chilly. But underneath that pan, there's like a fire, and it keeps cooking it. And then after a while, you're swimming around. Oh, it's so nice and warm. And then it gets a little bit warmer, and then it gets a little bit warmer, and then it gets a little bit warmer, and then before you know it, you're cooked. Humanity has been a cooked frog for a while now. And he's turning down the heat. He's wanting you to wake up. And how does he make people wake up? By showing, by looking as if you are losing, and then coming afterwards and showing what it is that was really going on. So we have a lot of things to look forward to. We have a lot of things that we're to look forward to. I'm not going to go into that right now, but all I can say is right now, in this game that we are watching, in this play that we're watching, there are a lot of actors, literally actors, that you're going to see that are going to disappear. Guantanamo Bay is being filled up, has been built up to 3 times the size it was during the whole Trump, Mr. T's administration, because it's going to now be filled up with a lot of people from DC, corporate world, a lot of treason, a lot of people that have had to do with treason. That's one of the reasons why they use Sidney Powell, because she is a military lawyer and she deals with treason. A lot of people are going to be convicted of a lot of the bad things that they've been doing. All I can say is that because we're going into a higher state of consciousness, anything that is not for good, for the good of all, through our hearts, is not going to survive. And that includes people. And I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing it, and I'm looking at the brilliance of the plan. Beyond, beyond, beyond. He knew they were going to try to take him down. He knew they were going to crash the economy. He knew they were going to make it tough for the small businesses. There's so many things that he knew, and guess what? He was ready every single time because he already knew their playbook. He's been studying them for a long time. For a long time he's been studying them. And he knew that he had to be completely solid economically on all levels or they would take him down. He knew that as well. He had to be solid on so many levels. And so do we. We have to open up to our sovereignty. We have to open up to decide over our bodies, over our minds, over what we think, over what we feel. Over what we watch, what we allow inside our sacred sphere. We have to continue to protect our beings. And one of these days, we're going to look back at this time and thinking, oh my goodness, we were going from kindergarten stage to first grade. And you're probably looking at me like, what? Yeah, literally. Our awakening has a lot to do with us being able to really see through the programming, through the game, taking away the veil that has been put upon us, and opening up to our 12-dimensional selves. I look forward to when more and more people are evolved and are open and are in unity and are connected through love. Guess what a beautiful paradise that will be. And it's happening. We had to let go of the PC, politically correct speech. Oh my gosh, when I worked in Washington, D.C., oh my gosh, I almost got fired 3 times because of my political incorrect speech. And that's when Trump came through, oh my gosh, and he started speaking the way that it really was. He was very direct. He's talking, he's telling you how it is. People thought that was very harsh and brutal and everything. And I was like, no, this is true. This is the truth. He's speaking directly. He's speaking the truth. He's not coming through with all these lies. Or you can't speak of this because of this. You can't talk about this because of this. You're stopping your sovereignty. You're stopping the thing that makes you great. It's being able to speak your mind. That's one of our rights. We can feel a little bit different about it right now because of some of the freedom of speech, for example, freedom of assembly, and I don't know how much that has been almost taken away from us. Trump came to do what Kennedy started. He came to finish that. So, we are going into greatness. And if it wasn't for Trump, this whole country would be under siege. Anybody who spoke their truth would be arrested and put in camps. And our monetary system and everything would be in a controlled system that would we would have to have vaccines, forced vaccinations for us to even have a job, and all the small businesses would have been taken out. So understand that, because we were due for a crash, economic crash and a reset and wars, and that's what Trump stopped. So we would have been in dire straits if he hadn't come to our Savior, to our salvation. I know many of you don't believe it, but that's okay. I want you to see it for yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to believe or not believe. That's just my opinion, what you've just gotten right now. Please share, like, and help me spread this message. Message of love, unity, message of growth, message of freedom. That's what we're doing right now. And in between that, a little bit of information as well. With so much love and light. Over.